Hello everybody, welcome here to Musicians Edition. This is Evan and I'm going to be on the piano in this one. We're going to be learning a new technique to work on our hand independence and strengthening those hands here. This is going to be a very complex song to take on. You may have heard of it. It is called Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but this video is not for babies. This is going to be a new method that we're going to practice, and I promise I will make it difficult. We're picking an easy song to get this going, but any song using this method is not going to be very easy. What we're going to do is we're going to play the melody with one hand, and we're going to have the other hand wait to play the melody a few bars later on. So they don't match up with each other, and we got to think about with what part of the song each hand is going to be working on. So we're picking a very easy song that has the rhythm match up pretty well. So we're playing something with one hand, we're still playing something with the other, with the quarter notes and half notes lining up in this one, which is why I did pick this one to get us going with it. But our hands are still going to be doing very different things because they're going to be working on different parts of the song at the same time. So follow me in this one. Let's head over to the piano and give it a shot. So here we are on the piano here. Let's go ahead and show you what this one is going to look like. All right, so that is going to be our final product. So yes, it is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but what we actually have here is my right hand is starting it off, and my left hand is coming in 2 bars late to play what the beginning part is. So what we have overlaid here is the right hand really just playing 2 bars ahead from the left. The left is playing the same melody, obviously, but just 2 bars delayed. So I've got a sheet music so you can see what that actually looks like as well too. So here you can see my first line. I've got right hand playing this. Oh, and now my left hand's gonna come in playing that same thing, while my right hand is playing the next part. So that is like this. So I like this one because the timing overlaps really well. Whenever I'm playing a note with the right hand, I'm playing a note with the left hand. That's why I chose to do this 2 bars apart, because in each of these 2 bar sequences, you have all those quarter notes leading up to that half note at the end. I still wanted that to line up to make it a bit easier for us. We could have made this harder by even just coming in instead of 2 bars on an odd number of 1 bar or 3 bars late. But let's just get the idea of what this one before we start challenging ourselves too much. But that is going to be the idea of this all throughout. And really, it's just, if you're not familiar with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, just making sure, if you just haven't played it in a long time because maybe you're past that, of course, just making sure you do have it down with each hand. You can get it down with each hand without thinking about it too much, and then you can put them together and not have to focus so hard. But of course, starting it off nice and slow before we really amp it up with our speed. So this first line here is a good place to start, so let's go ahead and make sure we can all play this one together here. So I'll play this one more time nice and slow, and then we can do a countdown and play it together. So here's what it's going to look like again. So I should finish with my right thumb on C, my left thumb on G, and I'm just using, I shouldn't have to shift my hands just to go play those A's. We're going to extend my thumb or my pinky to play it, and the rest of these fingers stay on their notes that whole time. So let's go ahead and do a countdown with this one, and we'll play this first line together here. 1, 2, here we go. And there's that. So go ahead and make sure you can catch up to me there. You can play this part by itself. I'll keep going on to the next part here. Okay, and on to our next part here. So we've gotten through our first line. Our next line is just going to be continuing this one. So we've got our right hand now on to the 2 sets of G's here. Our left hand's a bit behind. It's going to start off on F, and then up to G. So the easiest sequence to this one, I think, because they're both just kind of working their way down. On the second time through with the right, the left is actually its first time through it, so they're matched up the same. So we can pair this together with, again, right hand just playing on that G, the two sets of the same thing. Left hand starts on F, does that work down, then comes back up to G. So this one's easy. And then, now they do the same thing, both on G, keep working our way down. And on this next round, the left hand would play that same thing again, because that gets played twice, while the right hand's going to go back to the main sequence. But let's get this part down first, and let's pair it with what we already did before we take on any more. So let's count us in, just doing this part starting on G with the right and F with the left. Okay? 1, 2, here we go. All right, much easier than the first part, I think. Let's go ahead and put this whole thing together starting from that first line, then we'll go ahead and add in this last part. We are almost there with this one. So with that first part, we got our right hand starting off. 1, 2, here we go. All right, and there we have it. Let's go ahead and finish up with our last part to this one. And so I said right hand's gonna go back to the main sequence. Left hand continues with one more starting from G, so that's where we're gonna get started here. So we can see our right hand starting with those C's and our left hand starting with those G's. It's gonna get paired like this. We should be pausing here with left on D and right hand on G, and then we can go ahead and continue with our right hand going down with F, and our left hand's going to go with that main sequence starting from C. And now our right hand is done, and so our left hand just has to finish the job by itself. And we made it through. Now we just got to go ahead and practice making sure we can do this all together. Let's tackle this end part just one more time. So this end part one more time, let's go ahead and count us into it. So right hand starting on C, left hand starting on G, left hand's on the last sequence of the G's here, and so it's going to go from this back to the C's, right starting on C, and then it's going to finish off with the F count down there, then it's going to be done. So again, one more time, right hand starting on those two C's, left hand starting on the two G's. 1, 2, here we go. Finish it off, left hand. And that's that. So I hope you have the general idea down and nothing left other than to go ahead and put this whole thing together. So let's go ahead and do just that. So I will go ahead and count us in nice and slowly, and let's see if you can keep up. If you're having trouble with any of these parts, make sure you go ahead and practice them. And without further ado, let's do this thing. 1, 2, here we go. And that's it. So, of course, you guys can make sure you can go ahead and play that nice and quickly, but make sure you just do have everything all connecting, everything playing with those notes hitting at the same time with even spacing. You can always add a metronome on your end to ensure that. But that is the idea here. You have one hand playing the melody a bit quicker than the other. Again, we could have made this a little bit harder by instead of having it line up 2 bars after, we could have done 1 or 3 bars. But I think this is a good introductory way to get into this. What we can also do is flip-flop and have that left hand go first. So obviously you can do that as well too. Just the general idea, of course, is just having left hand starting us off. And then here comes our right. And so on and so forth. We can go the whole way through the song like this, and I do encourage you guys to practice that same way. It's really good practice to go back and forth because it really just throws off your brain for sure of which one is supposed to be ahead right now. So it is a really good way to continue to work on that hand independence. That is going to be it for this method in this video. So I hope this was a good refresher on everybody's favorite first song to learn, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, maybe only second to Hot Cross Buns. I hope this is a good return to it for you guys, and I hope you do see this method as being useful. There's always endless ways to work on that hand independence, and I think this is another great way to do it. So I hope you found this one beneficial. And thank you all for tuning into this video here on Musicians Edition. I hope you found this technique useful for you. This can be easily applied to any song you're working on. We'll put up future videos here to work on some towards more difficult kind of songs, but you can kind of see if you have something that is really difficult by itself, applying this to it is just going to make it so challenging and difficult to get through. So we don't want to have to do this with anything that's already really difficult by itself with one hand, but something that's pretty easy with one hand, we can definitely apply this to. So we'll definitely put up some more videos to have you work on this method and to continue to strengthen those hands, as it is such a key part of progressing yourself on the piano. And that is all for us in this one, so have fun playing, and we'll see you next time.